You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal from somewhere beyond the status quo, here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, what is the number one thing that you need? Now, some people will say money, and other people will say a marketing plan, but there's another M in there that's more important than money, and it's more important than marketing, and that is your mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how great your marketing strategy is, you will self-sabotage every single time without the right mindset. Today's guest is going to tell us the number one thing concerning our mindset that we need to pay attention to. I'm speaking with Erika Laszlo. She is a transformational teacher, a mentor, a communication trainer, and author. Erika has empowered and changed the lives of thousands of clients and students from 25 countries and from 5 continents through workshops and transformational training. She created the number one integrated and intuitive licensed coaching system of all time called Superconscious Self-Coaching. So Erika Laszlo, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Welcome, and thank you very much for inviting me, Ralph.
It's a real pleasure to have you. So you are going to teach us the number one thing that we have to deal with when it concerns, as it concerns our mindset. What would that be? What's the number one thing we need to keep in mind?
Well, the number one thing, I think that's the most important thing, that whenever we want to start anything, it doesn't even need to be just a company. Okay, let me put it that way. So it can be anything. When we want to start something, that we have to have an open mindset without the negativity. So basically, the biggest problem, what I see with my clients, for example, is that most of the people have very limiting belief systems about themselves, about the market itself, that there are competition. They can't just start anything new because there are already others who are doing something similar what they want to start. Or they are limiting themselves with things like, I'm not good enough. And that's a big one. That's definitely a very big one. So
it's not the competition. It's not the marketplace. It's the way you see the competition, the way you see the marketplace, and specifically those limiting belief systems that you created in your mind about what reality is. And it's really not a reality, is it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not a real reality, but it can be a reality for us if we think it. Does it make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Yeah. You are a transformational teacher and mentor. Tell us a little bit about your life. How did you get started down this path of helping other people with transformational training and with your superconscious self-coaching?
Well, actually, it was started with my son, who was at that time 5 years old. He's now a grown-up, and it was in the early 90s in Hungary. So at that time, we didn't have Google, and we didn't have anything, where we could just go and ask questions or help, or we didn't have enough possibilities, basically. And he was diagnosed with lactose intolerance. And I just said, that I just can't imagine that in the doorstep of the 21st century, somebody cannot be cured, because that was what I was told at that time, cannot be cured from such a thing as lactose intolerance. So it's not a big thing, or at least this is how I thought at that time. So basically, this is what led me to different alternative healing methods, what I tried first on myself and then on my son. So whatever can help him, I was totally open to alternative things. I was not open to medication because I didn't want to medicate to a 5-year-old. He was very small. And I didn't want to accept the fact what they told me, that he just cannot eat chocolate, what he loved.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was looking for methods and basically the solution, how to solve this problem as a mom, because poor child, he couldn't do anything at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So this was basically how I started, and this then also led me my first ever big aha moment in my life, which was about communication, how to deal with other people in a different way, how to express myself in a different way, which is called generally assertive communication, and how to understand other people when they have a problem. So that was basically my first big training when I started. And then later on, I learned so many other things, also sort of like esoteric or spiritual things. I also learned a spiritual method, which came or comes from the US, spiritual response therapy. And I was at that organization for 13 years. I was also an international master teacher there and the vice president of that organization. And then basically came the time when I just realized that, well, yeah, I need to do my own thing. And for that time, I already put together my new coaching system, Superconscious Self-Coaching. And I just resigned from my positions from the international master teaching and also from the vice president position. And then I started with my husband actually to spread this knowledge, what I put together, into the world, to change lives actually, to show people that it can be happier, it can be more harmonious, and that we can live in a better world. That's definitely in my mind. I would like to see a better world around me.
Absolutely. So tell us about Superconscious Self-Coaching, and who do you work with? Who do you help, and who would be your ideal prospects that would benefit from your method?
Well, as I just mentioned, that I also have a spiritual background, which was not religious, but it was a method that we worked with our soul. I do have this belief, which helps me actually to feel better, that we have this life, but this life is not the last one. Most probably is not the only or the first one either. And that's why I say that Superconscious Self-Coaching is for those people who are also open to certain facts like this. And if they can accept that there can be something more, what we can see in the world. And Superconscious Self-Coaching is very rational in that sense, because with the spiritual method, what I was practicing for so long, I realized that many people just not open to these kind of things. They don't believe in it. It's too much for them, and it's too hokey pokey voodoo things, sort of thing.
Right.
And that's why I just realized that I think I can make something which is sort of rational, in which I can integrate Western science with Eastern wisdom in a way that it can be understood by anyone, basically, who is just open to that there is more than just rational things in the world.
Yeah, very interesting. So with the people that you're working with, And I want to circle back around to this idea of limiting beliefs and see how that applies to business people. Are we creating something in our own head that becomes real? And so to us, it actually does limit us, even though it's imaginary. It's in our mind. But our mind, it's like the movie, The Matrix. Your mind makes it real. So it's not real until you believe it's real, and then your mind makes it real, and we create all of these obstacles and all of these reasons why we can't be successful or we can't be happy or healthy. Is that the reason why the limiting belief system is the biggest thing that we have to deal with in our mindset?
Yeah, I think so. You are just saying it so correctly. And I think, yes, this is the biggest thing. Therefore, in my system, for example, we have 14 charts just for limiting beliefs so that we can find the actual limiting belief that is limiting the person at a certain point in their life, or maybe in their company, in their business. So what sort of people come to me? Because that's also you asked, and then I didn't answer. Sorry. So basically, I would say that people with low self-esteem. I also have that's the other part of my client base. Business leaders, entrepreneurs who are already started their business. They are doing it, and then there is something in the business what they don't understand, because they think they do everything and still it stagnates. And then they come and we just check and look at my charts and try to figure out what's going on in their mindset, and especially with their limiting belief system. According to my experience, and that's also, I think, the biggest thing, that we don't even know that we have limiting beliefs. What came through the generations, so from our family, and we sort of inherited it. And it's already proven by science that it happens. Yes, it happens. And even genes can be changed because of the environment. So if we are in a bad environment where we only hear from the parents that you are bad, you are not successful, you can't do it, you are doing absolutely wrong. If we learn it from a very early age that this is how we are, then as adults, it is very difficult to get rid of it, or it's very difficult to even know that this is the problem in our life.
Right.
Or this causes the issue, that's why I can't start something, or that's why I can't finish something, for example. That's also an issue for many people, that they start it, but they never finish it. So I think the most important thing is to first know that, yes, there are limiting beliefs, what we don't even know about. So that's a big, big thing, that there are limiting beliefs in our system, in our genes, or in our cells, that they are there and working, and we just don't know that they are there and working. It's like, the unconscious and subconscious programs, what we don't know about. We just don't know how many times we breathe in the last minute, because it's subconscious. We don't need to deal with it.
Right.
The same way limiting belief system work, that we don't know about it, and still they are there, they are working, and they absolutely create our life.
You used an example a few minutes ago about someone who believes that they are not good enough.
Yes.
And so that's a great example of a limiting self-belief. If someone's listening to this and they resonate with this and they say, yeah, and and you probably have a whole list of limiting beliefs. But let's just take that one. If someone is struggling with a limiting belief, for example, that they're not good enough, what would be some things they can begin to do right now to start to turn that around in their head?
Well, if that's the limiting belief what they have, I have a method for that to change. That's called the DEMERT method. It's DEMERT method. And this is my method. This is what I created. Oh my goodness, so many years ago. I don't even remember. So the way how we work with the limiting belief is this, that there is what I think about myself. I'm not good enough. This is definitely negative, and what I want to believe is I'm good enough, isn't it? So I want to believe the exact opposite usually. So I write down the opposite of the negative belief system. I'm good enough. And then as a first step, I continue writing it. I'm good enough, but no, because I'm not good enough. But no, because nobody tells me I'm good enough. But no, because nobody ever told me I'm good enough. But no, because my father never told me I'm good enough, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. Basically, with this method, we just bring all the resistances from the subconscious, which is there, down, very down there. We bring it up to the paper, so to a conscious level, because we will see it. Yeah, it's there on the paper. We write it out. And we write it until there are no more. I just don't know anymore. But, I'm good enough, but no, because, and nothing else, nothing comes to my mind. Okay, then the second step comes, I'm good enough because, and then I write again so many things what comes up to on my mind. It doesn't have to be the same amount of sentences as it was in negative. It has to be at least one. Basically, with the first, what we do is that we are working with the two brain hemispheres, because writing always works with two brain hemispheres. So that's why I say it has to be writing and not just saying. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I like that.
We just took out all the resistances from the subconscious, what we don't even know about what is there, but with writing this way, we will know. And then with the second step, we reaffirm the positive one. Basically, we build the new neural pathway for it. And then the first step is that with I am good enough, I go in front of a mirror and I say to the mirror, I'm good enough. And I do say it so many times until I really think, and not just think, but feel it, because it comes back to me from the mirror, that yes, of course I'm good enough. Whatever I was, doubting this. Does it make sense?
It does, yeah. You are retraining your brain, but you are engaging all of your senses. So it goes much deeper than just self-talk or positive mental affirmations or visualizations. You're using all the senses to really engage your whole being into this new way of thinking about yourself.
Yeah, you see it very well, really. Thank you very much, because this is basically as I see, this is only my opinion, but this is, I think, the problem with other methods. Visualization is only sort of a spiritual level, okay, or mental level. When I say something out loudly, it's only audio. And when I just say something, of course the brain does work, but when I'm using my hand at the same time, it definitely connects the two brain hemispheres together. So that's why I always tell to my students, that I absolutely love positive affirmations. The problem is that just saying positive affirmations to the mirror, it doesn't help, because it will not really help to solve all those resistances which are in the subconscious. And we just, on a conscious level, we are just saying something to the mirror. And meanwhile, there is the subconscious level where there are many programs running saying the total opposite. And of course, it will not work out because the conscious level only works 5% a day and the subconscious level works 95% a day.
Right. Yeah. I like this because different people engage in different modalities. And whereas I'm a writer and you could give me a journaling exercise to get to the center of myself and I would be lost in a good way. It's like, yeah, this is great. You give that to someone else and they're like, I have no idea what to do, where to begin. That doesn't connect with some people.
Yeah.
So I'd like the way all of this integrates together into something that touches on all of the different aspects of someone. And in that, there's going to be a real deep connection that will create transformation. Having said that, it sounds real easy the way you explain it, but the thing about self-help, as I like to say, is the problem with it is that you have to help yourself, and a lot of people can't do that. If they need to reach out and they want to find out more about this method and your different services and programs and things that you offer, what is the best way for them to reach out to you, Erika?
Well, you can reach me through my website. It's Erika. It's erikalaszlo.com. So they can reach out through that website. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn with Erika Laszlo. So that's quite easy, I think. And if anyone puts, to the internet that super conscious self-coaching, our website will come up. Nobody else is doing it. So I think that's quite easy. And I do work with clients not face to face, but one by one. And usually face to face on Skype or on Zoom. And as you said, yes, it's very right that although it sounds very easy, sometimes the real issue is that we don't know what the actual belief system that's blocking.
Right.
And that's why I love my system, because from the system, I can tell the person that this is exactly what's blocking you at the moment.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not, I'm not good enough. Maybe it's, I don't deserve it. Or
yes.
Who knows?
I mean, who knows that we have even identified the right limiting belief. So we got to figure out what that is first. And that's really where you need a coach. You need someone who can really give you something, a perspective outside of yourself, so that if you do this work of reprogramming your brain, that you are reprogramming the correct thing and not wasting time working on something that isn't broken. So this has been really eye-opening, Erika, and I appreciate you sharing your methodology with us. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you would like to leave with our listeners?
Well, actually, I just would like to give them really this method as free, that just use it and change your limiting beliefs and change anything what limits you, because the world is so wide and fantastic. So we can have a better life. I do believe it and I do live it. And I also changed my own belief system. So if I could do that, definitely anybody else can do it. So it's not difficult. It's just a matter of time, a matter of, decision that I just decided to do. And that's it.
Excellent. Excellent. Words of wisdom from Erika Laszlo. She is a transformational teacher, mentor, a communication trainer, and author. She has empowered and changed the lives of thousands of clients and students from 25 countries. And she helps people through workshops, transformational training, and her integrated and intuitive licensed coaching system, Super Conscious Self-Coaching. If you'd like to find out more, we'll have the link on the Rebelpreneur website. It's scc.world/en or erikalaszlo.com, or just Google that and you will end up in the right place where you need to be. Well, Erika, thank you so much for being on Rebelpreneur Radio today. I really appreciate you sharing your time with us, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me, really. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.